Hey, what's going on, party people in the place to be? This is your boy, BK Apologist, transmitting live. New York is the city, Brooklyn is the borough. What's popping? What's really good? Um, just want to share some things with you guys real quick. Let me share my screen. Something that I think will be very encouraging. All right. Um, so if you have committed yourself to Christ, if you are a disciple, if you are a Christian, I'm sure you have dealt with your share of trials and tribulations. Though those tribulations will pale in comparison to those that were inflicted by our brothers and sisters in the first few centuries of the movement. And because of that pain, I believe that Christ revealed this message to the churches in what we call the book of Revelation to inspire and to encourage those churches that were going through what they were going through. But the thing is, we don't really fully appreciate what Christ said to these churches because we really lack the historical and cultural context in which these things are being said. So I thought it'd be cool today to kind of get some of that context into the passages so that not only we can better understand the encouragement that the Messiah was giving to those churches, but how that same encouragement can apply to us as well. So this is entitled Your Enthronement Awaits, the Succession of the Saints. Now, what exactly is succession? Well, succession is the action or process of inheriting a title, office, property, etc. That is what it means to have a succession, to succeed into something. Now, the mystery play of the succession. This dramatic performance showcased the new king's coronation ceremony that would take place in Memphis, ceremonies that only the most elite of audience members would likely attend. The equipping of the king who will rule with the regalia of sacred kingship and the provision of bounty as typified by ceremonies of feasting and gift giving. This is something we have to understand because this is the era in which these churches lived during the time that Revelation was written. They were living in the age of monarchy, of kings and queens. They were literally living in the Game of Thrones. One of the most intriguing aspects to emerge from the kingship tradition is the development of enthronement ceremonies. Most of the ceremonies were applied to the ascension to the throne of both a new king and the local god, and most contain common elements such as crowns, thrones, scepters, hymns, namings, and anointings. In order to more fully understand these ancient enthronement rituals, let us look specifically at the traditions and customs surrounding these ceremonies in ancient Egypt. Just prior to the actual coronation of the new king, a pillar was erected. In its nature and origin, the pillar is no doubt the leafless tree, the tree or plant of life, which was a representation of the new king, as well as Osiris, the god of vegetation. The ceremony associated with the rising of this pillar was part of the rites of royalty and probably serves as a symbol of rebirth and resurrection. Now, why is this important for us to understand this, to understand what Christ is saying to the churches in the book of Revelation, right? Well, Revelation 3, verse 12. The one who is victorious, I will make a pillar in the temple of my God. See, Jesus is speaking king talk. He's speaking royal succession language to the church. The church was privy to this kind of language. They know that this was for the elite. But here's Christ telling the church, conveying them as if they are about to have their own royal succession by becoming a pillar in his temple. That the gods had secret names is evidenced in the New Kingdom story of Isis and Ra. The great magician goddess Isis, as the opponent to the sun god Ra, was said to know everything that is, except the sun god's true name. Egyptians considered this to be the most secret thing of all. Isis, through evil schemes, tricked Ra into revealing his real name. These secret names were given only to the kings. Remember that part. It was only given to the kings. Revelation 2, verse 17. The one who has an ear had better hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To the one who conquers, I will give him some of the hidden manna, and I will give him a white stone. And on that stone will be written a new name that no one can understand except the one who receives it. he gets a secret name, or she gets a secret name from Christ. Who's the only people that get these secret names? Kings. Jesus is telling the church that they're going to get secret names. But I thought that was just for the kings, right? Another prevalent aspect of Egyptian enthronement is the presentation to the gods of the pantheon. Once you made it through the Book of the Dead, or put up Emheru, the coming forth by day, you were greeted by these Egyptian deities. But Christ says in Revelation 3, verse 5, the one who conquers will be dressed like them in white clothing, and I will never erase his name from the book of life, but we declare his name before my Father and before the angels. Imagine, if you will, being introduced by Jesus. Think about that. Hey guys, you remember sister so-and-so? You remember brother so-and-so? The guy and the girl I was telling you about, how faithful they were to me. Well, they're here now. So let's give them a round of applause. Let's make them feel at home. They're going to be here for a while. I want you to treat them like family. I mean, imagine the Messiah introducing you, right? That's crazy. At this point, the climax of the ceremony, the actual enthronement and coronation took place. A sacrifice was offered by the priests of both the upper and lower kingdoms, and then approached the new king. They placed a gold headband on his head. The last anointing was performed, and the newly enthroned king broke bread and gave it to them before taking his own meal. Revelation 2:10. Do not be afraid of the things you're about to suffer. The devil is about to have some of you thrown into prison so you may be tested, and you will experience suffering for 10 days. Remain faithful even to the point of death, and I'll give you the crown that is life itself. Revelation 3:20. Listen, I am standing at the door and knocking. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into his home and share a meal with him, and he with me. So there's a lot of king talk here. There's a lot of royal succession talk of pillars, new names, crowns, special meals, anointings, introductions, right? This was given to only the elites, only to future royalty. So what is Jesus conveying to the churches? He's saying that even though you're going through immense pain and peril and seeing your brethren being slain for the gospel, stay steadfast and faithful, for your enthronement, your coronation awaits you. That's what Jesus was conveying to the churches in the beginning chapters of Revelation. Your enthronement awaits. Stay faithful. Paul understood this and conveyed it to his son in the faith, Timothy, in his second letter to him. It says here, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Henceforth, there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day. And not only to me, but also to all who have loved his appearing. Paul had an anticipation of royal succession. The question is, do you? Do you anticipate succession? If you ever wondered what helped Paul stay as steadfast in his faith through the many lashings, being shipwrecked, having his heart broken by people leaving the faith, how did he stay focused? Because he anticipated his coronation. And so did the churches back then, and so should you if you are part of God's church. I don't know what kind of week you've been having. I don't know how the day went. You could be going through some serious trials. Stay steadfast. Your enthronement still awaits. Your coronation is coming up. So hold tight. You can find a lot of this material that I spoke about today. And there's an article called King of Kings, The Enthronement of Yahweh by Jeremy J. Stewart. You can find this and download this on Google. Just Google the title. And it gives a lot of great material, more insight about, these succession plays and these enthronement ceremonies and how they relate to what Jesus was saying to the churches. If you like what you heard today, you can catch me on Facebook /BK Apologist, Twitter /BK Apologist, Instagram /BK_Apologist, and on YouTube /BK Apologist as well. So let me stop sharing. This is like my 4th time trying to do this today. Trying to learn this. I hope you guys really appreciate what's being said. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.